Good afternoon, Texans. Welcome to the summer's first edition of Topic of Discussion. I am Ryan Cox, joined by Empire Tribune's Brad Keith. Brad, how's it going?
Good. Glad to be here.
Thanks for joining us. We got a bit of interesting news surrounding Texan basketball this morning. You want to lead us off and talk about that?
Well, of course, last week Coach Hearn tells Coach Ronnie Hearn, 1,000-game winner in his career, 610 wins at the college level, and 190 in 10 years here at Tarleton. He tells his team he's going to retire. Coach Hearn is 65 years old. So it was, 42 years in the coaching business. But just this morning, he informs athletic director Lon Reisman that is not the case. He never turned in a letter of resignation or a letter of retirement, anything like that. He is going to come back. And this morning, when I talked to him, he said, "I'm going to coach at least one more year, maybe 10." So who knows? But he said he's re-energized and excited about the year ahead.
And to me, it was odd that he was even considering retirement with after the year they had and the talent they have returning. You have Kiara Wright, obviously one of the best players in Texan basketball history here. She's coming back. They have a good chance to do some damage next season. What's the outlook look like now for the Texans this upcoming season?
Well, you're right. There was various speculation there. Some people thought that maybe with Peyton Adamson not coming back, she is going to get married and move to Abilene, so congratulations to her. But with her not coming back, perhaps that had something to do with his decision. That was one thing being speculated last week when he announced his retirement. But now you look at it, Adamson's gone. But okay, say, they graduated none. So say they graduated one. Say Adamson's out of the fold. If you just lost that one and you bring back a first-team All-American and what they have the ability to put around Kiara, then the outlook is very good. Kiara's obviously about an unstoppable force at the Division II level down there, and she can go off for a double-double in a half at any given time.
Right. It's going to be fun to watch, and the same goes with Texan basketball. They've already leveled 4 recruits this offseason, including Brock Straight-Ewell. It's going to be, like you said, we were talking earlier, he's probably going to redshirt, but they're just building the depth and the talent around. It's going to be fun to watch them. Also, we'll go down to Stephenville football. They've had some 7-on-7 success this summer. What kind of, you've been following them, what do you got with them?
I have been following them some. Of course, quarterback Jarrett Stidham yet to start a game in an 11-man contest. But, he's built a big reputation for himself at various camps since he was a very young youth, going back to before his junior high days even. And then with the things that he was able to do as a junior high and as a freshman quarterback, last year, of course, he plays receiver. No reason to mess with that chemistry with Tyler Jones back at quarterback and everything that he was capable of doing. But Stidham's been kind of hyped for a long time, and he shows you why in 7-on-7, I used to say other college quarterbacks throw passes and Robert Griffin throws lasers.
Right.
Other high school quarterbacks throw passes and Jarrett Stidham can throw lasers, and he can also run with the football, which you don't even see in 7-on-7. So very versatile. Their 7-on-7's going well. A lot of people worried about their losses at receivers, and that is very founded. With Bryce Gunner graduating, going to Texas State, Alex Sanchez coming here to Tarleton, Jarrett Stidham, of course, moving from receiver to quarterback, so you lose another starter there at receiver. But he does have 2 tight ends back, and Brock Morrison and then B.J. Walker. And the replacements on the outside, they're not Bryce Gunner, but they are 6'2", 6'3".
Right.
Zachary Jones is one of those, and it's Tyler Jones' little brother. Very good player. And Ben Martin's back in the slot.
Right.
And Grayson Sweet, a successful basketball player, is up on the varsity now at the
too.
other end. So there are some very capable targets out there for Jarrett to throw the ball to. They just need to gain some experience in that system, and that's what they're doing out there this summer.
Right, yeah, they're going to lose, probably 2,500 yards worth of receiving for the offense, but when you have the athleticism that Stephenville continues to bring in each year, Stidham, like you said, has never really thrown a varsity snap except for the 3 he's done on the select play calls. But Stidham's coming in before he has a varsity snap with 5 Division I offers. We got Texas, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Baylor, and Kentucky, his home state. He's got some hype to live up to, especially following in the footsteps of Tyler Jones and winning a state title.
There's a lot of people are saying, wow, 5 offers and no starts. They don't even know, a lot of people I've said have never even heard of that, getting 5 offers before you have a start. But I think a lot of people look at Stephenville's history at the quarterback position. When college coaches see a kid this hyped and they bring him in and they say, wow, he's the best quarterback we have in camp right now, or one of them. And then they look at the fact that the 9 quarterbacks at Stephenville have gone the Division I route, including Tyler Jones, in the last 20 years. And you're talking about including guys like Brandon Stewart, who won a Big 12 championship at Texas A&M, and some guys like that. That they see it as, how do you not go ahead and recruit the kid? And I'm trying to think of it from a college perspective. And there's the other side of me that's like, whoa, he still hasn't started a game. Still hasn't started a game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've talked to other recruiting guys, other networks around the state of Texas, and they say from the camps that Stidham has gone, and which camps these day and age, that's where you get a lot of your offers from, is how you perform there. That Stidham has the strongest arm in Texas. That's in the junior class and the senior class. So he's already building a resume for himself, like we've been talking about before. He's thrown a single snap playing high school varsity football. So I'm a big high school football guy, and I'm ready for it to go ahead and get going just to see what he has in store for the upcoming season.
Absolutely, me too. And, one of the things they talk about him is he's classified as a dual-threat quarterback. There's been some saying that he'll probably come out at number 2 on the ESPN's list of dual-threat quarterbacks nationwide in that class. But I wonder where he would be classified as a drop-back quarterback, because he can really do either one.
Yeah, him and the two guys really I'm going to be watching is Kyler Murray at Allen and then Jarrett Stidham here in Stephenville. So it's going to be a fun 2 years to watch, and You've had a good past year, the 2012-13 year, where all the Stephenville athletes and their teams advanced pretty far in the playoffs. You were pretty fortunate this past year to cover those.
It was very fun, of course. Anytime you get to go cover a state championship game, that's a very special moment, And a lot of Tarleton's played at Cowboy Stadium, Stephenville has, so I had some opportunities to go up there to one of the most prestigious, obviously, sports venues on the planet. And then you look at what Stephenville basketball did this year. The boys almost make the regional tournament. Girls do. Come up just a little short against Kendall. Had a chance at a state championship there.
Which I thought it was theirs to lose, and
I really agreed with you there. Yeah. And in the spring, the baseball team made that magical run that kind of nobody saw coming. They got kind of healthier at the right time, got some guys out, and made a good run. But the one of the most favorite things I covered all year was Bailey Chavers, a freshman 800-meter runner, winning the state title, and she doesn't even know which way is up yet.
Right.
But she's figuring it out. The state record's 209, and she's already working down under 214 after having soccer season and stuff like that. So that young lady could break a lot of records in her future.
That's unbelievable. And big things ahead, not only for Stephenville, but for Tarleton athletics as well. Lots of good things to look forward to. We'll shift our focus now a little towards the national topic. Just recently, Tarleton President Dr. DeTavio threw out the first pitch at the Ranger game. That was fun to watch, just get the recognition. We had over 1,000 Tarleton students and representatives at the game to support him. DeTavio, I was talking to him earlier, he's from the Cincinnati area, but he's not even a Reds fan. He grew up a Yankees fan, so I gave him a little bit for that. But the Rangers, I know you're a big baseball guy.
Yeah.
What's your thought for them, what they're doing in the first half and in the second half? They have a lot of injuries, but they're still working their way through it and able to contend.
It's funny. We were talking about this the other day when they were kind of struggling there. I think they were like 3-7 or something over a 10-game span. And they lost the lead in the AL West, but it's just so early.
Yeah.
And so many things happen late in baseball. Who are you going to add at the trade deadline? Who's somebody else going to add at the trade deadline? But I like the Rangers' core. Yu Darvish, I think, gives you somebody that on any given night, or if you get into a playoff series and you need that guy that can maybe go game 1, game 5, 2 starts in a series or something, you've got that in him, no doubt about it. His endurance is phenomenal, and I've been the offense has been hit or miss, but in stretches this year they looked really good, which I've been impressed with without Josh Hamilton and some of those guys in the lineup.
And they're fun to watch too. They're not the same team that you've had in the mid 2000s, late 2000s, where they rely on the home run to win a game. Now they have so much speed throughout the lineup. Base running is key for them. Smart decisions on the base pass, hit and run situations to score runs. But for the Rangers, I think what's going to be big for them, it's going to be like a whole new team, as if they made acquisitions at the trade deadline with all the injuries, the players coming back from the disabled list. You're going to get Matt Harrison, Colby Lewis, Neftali Feliz, Joaquin Soria. All these guys are going to come back.
You're looking at a dangerous pitching staff.
It's gonna be fun to watch, and they've been fortunate. The offense has been healthy for the most part throughout the season, but you expect big things. I don't know how long Oakland hangs around. We said that last year, and look what they did. But I think the Rangers are built top to bottom to be able to contend late into October and deep in the postseason.
I believe you're right. Last year there was the concern with, Oakland came back and caught us, and they had some pitchers injured and everything else. What are they going to be like next year? But the way it's shaped out going into this year, I agree with you. I think the Rangers are built to win the West. I think it'll be close. I think it'll come down to the last week or so. I mean, I don't see the A's going away and falling 6 or 8 behind or anything, but I think the Rangers are best equipped to win the division.
Right, and then last night, of course, was the start of NBA free agency. I follow the Dallas Mavericks. I'm not a big NBA guy, but it's when it comes to my local teams, I will follow them. And the big one for the Mavs to go after this offseason is Dwight Howard.
Are they still looking for a center? Is this decade-old story still haunting them?
They've been looking for a center since Mark Cuban bought the team, and they've been unsuccessful with that. But they've been making their pitch to bring Dwight Howard in. I saw a billboard in the DFW area from Raising Cane's Chicken House or whatever, and they offered Dwight Howard free tenders for life if he signs with the Mavs. So that's I guess that's one.
That's got to be the backbreaker of the deal.
That's got to be.
He's got to come now.
It looks like it's coming down to one of the Texas teams, either the Rockets or the Mavericks. Of course, if he doesn't go back to the Lakers, but it's going to be interesting. Good things all around here in Texas.
You're right. It does look like one of those three teams. And I saw a tweet yesterday that said, "If you're a Mavericks fan and you think we shouldn't get Dwight Howard, you're an idiot."
Yeah,
well, that's a good point because you've failed to go after top centers. You've had years where you've said, "Well, we're not going to get this guy now because this guy's going to be available next year and stuff," and it's just not the time for that anymore. No reason to keep putting it on the back shelf. Dwight Howard's right there. He has a limited window left as for the years that he's going to be a premier marquee player, as does Dirk Nowitzki, of course, who's, of course, only got a couple years left maybe in that window. So why not give him the best player you can now, give him that big center that he's been needing his whole career outside of the couple months he spent with Tyson Chandler in the championship year, and go ahead and shore up that roster and see if you can't make a run again before Dirk gets past his prime.
Yeah, because if you look at the past few years of teams to win a championship, it's all built around the teams that usually have a dominant center. Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal, Tyson Chandler was dominant the year he was here. So it just shows you have to have that big man in the middle to contend for a title late in the season. And I think Dwight Howard could be the guy, and that opens the door next year for 2014 when you have all the salary cap the Mavs have, and the free agency class is the best it's been in years. So it's gonna be an interesting offseason to see what Mark Cuban, because he's never really lured in a top free agent.
No, but he's never boring either.
And he's never boring, but he's always got his players from trades. He's never really got a guy to come commit as a free agent. So it's going to be curious to see what he can do this offseason. But that's about it on the topics of discussion we have for today. Just a quick rundown. Coach Hearn is staying for the Lady Texans, and that's big news for Tarleton Athletics because he's done some big things, and we can expect big things again.
Should top 200 wins fairly early in the season. Needs 10 to get there, so a good chance that he'll top that early in the year.
Yeah,
at 200 at Tarleton, of course.
Right, and he could get that before conference play even starts.
Yeah, he should have that by Christmas.
Right. So, well, Brad Keith of the Empire Tribune Sports, thanks for joining us for our inaugural show this summer of the topics of discussion.
Enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
Hopefully we'll be able to keep in touch and keep this going throughout the summer.
Cool.